In the triumphant court of Hastinapura, as Queen Satyavati smiled upon the brides meant to secure her dynasty, the eldest Princess Amba stepped forward. Silence fell. Bhishma looked at her, his expression unreadable. "Nay, great Bhishma," Amba's voice trembled, but was filled with conviction. "You are the protector of dharma, of righteousness. I cannot marry your brother Vichitravirya. In my heart, I have already accepted King Shalva of Saubala as my husband. I was waiting for this Swayamvara only to formalize our union. By abducting me, you have violated my honor in my sacred choice." Nana Bhishma, the very embodiment of righteousness, felt the weight of her words. He had acted for his kingdom, but he had wronged this woman. Acknowledging his error, he did what dharma demanded. He bowed his head. "Forgive me, princess." He honorably released her, sending her with a royal escort to her beloved King Shalva. Amba felt a rush of relief, her life seemingly back on track. But pride, once wounded, rarely heals clean. When she arrived at Saubala, King Shalva, who had been among the princes defeated by Bhishma, stared at her with cold eyes. Sound of a sharp, contemptuous laugh. "I do not accept alms given by another." He spat, his voice thick with humiliation. "You were won as a prize of war by Bhishma. You belong to him now. You are spoiled. I will not have you." With that, he banished her from his kingdom. Shattered, humiliated, and now belonging nowhere, Amba returned to Hastinapura, a ghost of her former self. There was only one option left. She went before Bhishma. "King Shalva has rejected me," she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "You are the one who abducted me. It is you who is now responsible for me. As per the law of the warrior, you must marry me." Bhishma, entire being, froze. Her demand struck at the very core of his existence, at the one thing he could never break. His face, etched with pity, became hard as stone. "Princess," he said, his voice a low thunder, "you know of my vow. I have renounced women. I have renounced life itself for the sake of this throne. I cannot marry you. I can never marry anyone." It was the final rejection. From her beloved, from her abductor, she was nothing. Her grief curdled into a terrifying, all-consuming rage, a fire that burned away all reason, all fear, all hope. Her entire existence now focused to a single point of incandescent hatred, Bhishma. He was the root cause. He would be her end. Nenesechi stormed from the palace, seeking a champion for her revenge. She went to sage after sage, king after king, but all feared Bhishma's power. Finally, desperate, she sought out the one man who could match him, his own guru, the warrior sage Parashurama. Moved by her story of cosmic injustice, Parashurama confronted his student and ordered him to marry Amba. When Bhishma refused, citing his sacred vow, the stage was set for a legendary war. For 23 days, the teacher and his student fought a cataclysmic battle, unleashing celestial weapons that shook the very earth. But they were perfectly matched. Neither could gain an advantage. Defeated in his purpose, Parashurama told Amba, "I cannot defeat him." Amba was now truly alone. With no mortal champion left, she turned to the gods. Through years of savage penance, she invoked Lord Shiva. When the god finally appeared, she did not ask for happiness, or peace, or a kingdom. She asked for one thing only, the death of Bhishma. Shiva, bound by her devotion, granted the boon, but not in this life, the god decreed. "In your next life, you will be born as a man, and you will retain the memory of this hatred. You will be the instrument of Bhishma's fall." An NTHE promise was enough. With her revenge assured beyond the grave, Amba walked to a river bank, built her own funeral pyre, and lit it. As the flames consumed her body, her eyes burned brighter, holding a terrifying promise. She had been wronged by dharma, but she would find her vengeance through destiny. Her story was over, but her hatred had just become immortal, waiting for the perfect moment to be reborn and strike down the man who could not be killed.